I just didn't care about life. The only thing you care about is exercising and your next meal and how less calories are going to be in that meal. Like it's an obsession.
Many teenage girls are influenced by models on the runway and in magazines. But for Christy Swadlin, it developed into an obsession that almost claimed her life.
I always wanted to be one of the Victoria's Secret models, and I would watch their shows, I would read their books, I would read the magazines in what they would eat, their diet plans. I was just so obsessed with it, and it got to a point where I was obsessed that I didn't look like them. I really wanted to look like Miranda Kerr. Her tiny, tiny waist and her legs, how she had the thigh gap. I just had nothing that she had.
Christy started dieting when she was just 12 years old, and by the time she was 16, was putting her health at serious risk.
I started over-exercising. I was probably exercising for about 3 to 4 hours a day, probably 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. I'd lost so many friends. I was fighting with my boyfriend. My mum thought I was a different person. The moment I realised I've gone too far was my 17th birthday. I collapsed that night and I went straight to hospital. I was so dangerously underweight and I was practically on my deathbed.
The hospitalisation was a wake-up call for Christy, and with the support of her family, she embarked on a high-carb diet and gradually started to gain weight.
I was admitted to hospital because my vitals, they were dangerously low, and the doctor actually told me that he's surprised I was still living and he's surprised I wasn't admitted there earlier. I lost most of my teenage life, through an eating disorder.
It was really heartbreaking. It was very hard. I thought maybe I'd done something wrong as a parent. I didn't know what to do. I didn't really know about anorexia. It was very hard. I had a lot of help from family and friends. It was very hard to sit there and watch her kill herself slowly.
Now, 8 months on, Christy has gained 2 stone and is helping other people suffering from eating disorders online.
The first YouTube video I made is called Anorexia Nerviosa Almost Killed Me. I wish someone helped me. I wish there was that person there that I could talk to, and there wasn't. I just feel like it would have been a lot easier. And for me to give someone, to tell them what to do to help them out, I just feel like I'm taking so much weight off their shoulders. I'm almost like saving someone's life. For me to be that person, for someone to actually come to when they need me, it makes me feel great.
And she's now speaking out about the dangers of overly skinny models flaunting their stick-thin physiques.
I reckon the model figure, the perfect figure, it's sending horrible messages, and it's near impossible at a teenager going through puberty and all that. It's almost impossible to get to that low weight. You'd have to have an eating disorder to actually get to that weight. Going through that mindset, it's made me the person that I am today, and I know what life I'd rather, and it's this one. It's the happy life. It's the life that I'm living. It's actually enjoying life, not hating it. There's loads of stuff that I'd love to be in the future and do in the future, and I know that having an eating disorder and being that sick, I was not able to get to there. That was my turning point. That's why I wanted to change.